Hello and welcome to Kaijudo 24/7. I'm Jared Oxator and I will be doing the review for the green for Invasion Earth, which is our upcoming set of Kaijudo. We're going to hop right into it, keep these videos short and sweet. First up we got Broadsword Butterfly, who is a, level 5 Mega Bug, 5000 vanilla, which means it has no abilities. I mean, like, this is a card I would normally go 1 and then move on. I'd probably go 2 just because it's a Mega Bug and it does come into play off of a Hive Queen trigger. That being said, I don't think it does enough. Like, if you're paying 5 mana, you'd rather be like playing a Homunculus on the Blaster or something else. But I mean, if you're building without the white in the deck, then obviously this helps because it fills a spot that needed to be filled as far as like being able to drop a dude the turn before you would drop a Hive Queen. And he is, decently big. A Herald of Infernus can only trade with him, so he's not going to end up trading. He's not going to end up getting a trigger if he swings into this guy. So, I mean, pretty meh. Like, if you're really dedicated to not doing any other color splash in a Mega Bug list, then obviously this guy is going to be one of the guys you're going to have to play. Next up, we've got Cultivate, level 3. Look at the top card of your deck. Put that card in your hand or into your mana zone. Like, gut instinct, I want to say 3, because it is a turn later. Like, it's a sprout. It's a sprout that comes down a turn later, but it doesn't shield break, and but on the flip side of that, it can serve as just like it can replace itself in the late game. Obviously, it works with the Skyforce Champion Evo that is coming out in this set, but it's just like think about what you use Sprout for now, and like this kind of does that, but later, early game when you'd want to see it, and then late game it can replace itself, but you're investing 3 mana to have it replace itself. I'm not convinced. I don't know. But I'm not going to write it off because I think there's just enough utility, because you can ramp or you can have it replace itself, and just having a card that's probably a dead card late game be able to replace itself and not just have to stick it in mana when you already have like 14 mana is still pretty reasonable. So yeah, I guess I would give this a 3 despite how how bad I feel like it is. I don't think I don't know. Odd card, definitely very utility-ish. Next up, we've got Defiance Shaman, level 3 Beastkin with Protector and 1 with Nature. If this creature would be banished, put it in your mana zone instead. 2000. This is a good card. Hands down, it's a good card. Like, you throw it down in turn 3 before a saber, like the turn before you do a Bronze Arm Sabertooth, and then you can engage. Then you can Evo on top of him, or you can. It's like just more bait for the Bronze Arm the turn before you would want to play a Bronze Arm. Besides that, with Protector, it can kind of serve like a utility purpose of protecting your Bronze Arm Sabertooths if you get in a situation where they do drop something bigger, and you still want to keep utilizing the Bronze Arm, then it can hop in the way and still serve as a mana ramp, and keep your threat that you want to keep out there. So I think we'll definitely see this card if we see a resurgence of Saberbolt, Saber something lists. Then this card will definitely see some use in it. Obviously, with some testing, we'll definitely see if that does. But I think it's good enough. So yeah, definitely. I will optimistically give this card a 4. Yeah, definitely give this one a 4. Moving on then. Mark of Almighty Colossus. So of all, like, we had a set of really good marks from the previous Monarchs. With Kalima's mark was definitely playable, and so was Haven's. And then the set before that for the other Monarchs, not necessarily like Tritonus's to be able to draw 3 cards for 9 mana. It's like, And then with Infernus's, the burn Adu or burn. I think Adu. I don't even really know what the Infernus does because no one really played it ever. But it like burned a dude of XLS power, or burned a couple, like up to X power. I'm not sure. But like this guy, like it's kind of a removal for 9 mana. Eek. Eek. So this is definitely kind of in the realm of Mark of Tritonus, Mark of Infernus. It just gets outclassed by Mark of Kaleem or Mark of Eternal Haven, even though no one really played Eternal Haven. But I mean, Kaleem is the only mark that really saw a lot of use. So yeah, just the so-so spell, I think. I mean, flavor-wise, the flavor's there, and that's, you know, what they're for, really. So moving on with our lives. Nurturing Hive. It's a level 4 living city. Everspring. You tap 1 less mana to summon creatures. In a world of cyber scamps and Keeper of Laws, when it is dangerous to be playing Reap and Sow, this is a pretty decent card. Like it's just a bird that does nothing. I'm not sure where we'll see this card find a home, and it's not awful. It's just such a weird thing to have on a creature at level 4. Like, they put that ability on birds because they only did dragons and they costed the birds smaller, and like this guy obviously does everything, so he has to cost more, and so he's, you know, and you don't want him to be too good, so you have to crank his power down a little bit. So I mean, there are a lot of concessions that had to happen with this guy, and like dropping this guy turn 4 might be good enough when we have cyber scamps and stuff running around, but it also might just, you might just rather play a removal spell at that spot. I'm not sure. Someone could break it and just totally prove me wrong. The nice thing about this is that you're getting a pseudo mana ramp with a threat in play, rather than something like Reap and Sow where you're pitching a card to ramp, or Sprout even. Sprout's probably a better example, where you're getting a card out of your hand to ramp an extra mana on top of the mana you already played for turn, and now your hand's feeling a little light and you didn't really contribute to your board state. So not a bad card. Definitely a 3. It's like mid-range. I'm not sure if it will see play, but if it does, I wouldn't say it's bad. Next up, tricky turnip. Level 3 wild veggie, undiceable. This creature can't be the target of the opponent's spells and abilities. 3,000. Very strong card. Definitely strong. I mean, they print it like it's a 3-drop 4-star. Hexproof. We know how strong hexproof is. I mean, we've seen it time and time again, and now that we can go, I mean, I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Bant control, or Bant like mid-range lists, but I don't know if that's gonna really pan out. Bant would be nature, light, water, because then you could play, you know, cyber scamp into tricky turnip, into Keeper of Laws, into King Neptus. I mean, just like running a lot of things that are just very good against your opponent when they're casting spells. I mean, you can't target this guy, you can't target Neptus, can't target Keeper. If this guy's in play and Keeper's in play, boom, you got the untargetable package going on, and then you can just like supplement it with removal or tempo to keep their dudes off the board so they can't counter swing into your guys. I mean, there's obviously a very strong strategy there, so I would definitely give this guy a 4. I think hexproof untargetability in this game is very, very, very strong. Obviously your globals will still hit this, so they can still I don't know, suffocate doesn't get there. What can they still do? They can still Tendrils Grasp. I always mix those up and my teammates yell at me. Whatever the global is for all level 4 or less, or all level 3 or less into mana zone, that's the one that can still hit this guy, which is, you know, whatever. No one really plays that card, which is odd to me, but that's personal preference. So yeah, I would definitely for sure give this guy a 4, because just untargetability is so strong when you're trying to swing in to finish a person off, and they have, you know, if they hit removal spells, you can't hit this guy, he swings in for the win. Just very strong, very strong. Next up, Tusked Shouter. Tusked Shouter. Level 5, 7,000. Very aggressive there. Protector, Double Breaker, and while your opponent has a creature in the battle zone, this creature can attack only creatures. So they gave it a really low mana cost with a lot of power, and then gave it this detriment of not being able to attack your opponent's shields, or yeah, not being able to attack your opponent's shields if they have a creature in play. It's kind of interesting. I'm just not I'm not convinced the trade-off there is really worth it, I guess. Like if you're playing like a squadron deck, Starseed squadron deck, and you, again, we're looking at Bant colors. If you played Starseed Squadron and played blue so you could have tempo, then this might be viable, because then you could just knock their dude. Like, they think they're confident, they have a blocker in play, that means that this guy can't attack, or even 2 blockers, and then you just bounce one, and then you swing with your other stuff, and their blocker obviously has to, commit to something else, and if they commit, you set them up to misplay. So maybe in a build of like a squadron type deck where you're trying to play really aggressively leveled, aggressively costed high power creatures, this could see some play, but it's kind of tough because it's just a dead card in play if they have any creature in play. So shoot, did I give that a rating? 3. Okay, so now we're going into multicolor, so that was the end of that. Thank you very much for watching our green. If you're going to keep watching, we're going to move right into our multi-civs, which will be probably just as long as the super rare / light civilization. I'm not sure, I haven't really looked. Let's see, we're only at 35 of 80 cards in the set, so definitely a lot of cards in the multi-civ video, so that'll be a little long. So if you want to go on the playlist, go ahead and keep going and watch that. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching.